We start with our Newsmaker segment and look at what will be happening as the Kansas legislature goes back into session next week. Although a temporary budget fix has been found to solve the current shortage, legislators now will try to figure out how to deal with a nearly $1 billion deficit forecast for the next 2 years. To talk about what's likely to happen on that and other issues is former state representative and now state senator, Republican Barbara Bollier of the 7th District in Johnson County. Senator, welcome to Ruckus.
Thanks. Thrilled to be here.
As you go back to Topeka, based on what has happened thus far, do you see any reason for encouragement and optimism?
I always do. I am the eternal optimist. Said that on the way here, in fact. And the honesty is that we have serious problems to fix, but we have a new legislature from a year ago, and we have moved forward significantly, what I call moving forward, in places that make more sense for our state. We still have the same governor, so that's a challenge, but I think that we will even be at a place when we come back for people to realize that we need to have enough votes to override on some issues.
Do you think he's about to leave? Do you think Brownback is about to resign?
It is still in the rumor mill, and I don't know, and it's up to him. I mean, he'll figure that out. In the meantime, we've got to move on.
Would that make things easier if Jeff Collier became the acting governor?
Not necessarily, but none of us know because we have never seen him in that position. Yeah. So, but obviously he ran as his running mate, yeah. So it would probably be pretty similar.
If it were up to you exclusively, and I know it's not, but if it were up to you exclusively, how would you fix the budget shortage?
Easy answer. Go back and have 3 income tax brackets. I don't know that we have to put them back to the same exact level that we had previously before Brownback's plan, but close. But no one was arguing with 3 tax brackets at the time. I didn't have constituents begging to eliminate that, and it is a well-proven, very vested, and what I would call more fair than a flat tax way to tax us and get appropriate revenues in.
So if that tax measure is passed by the legislature, should it be retroactive to the first of the year?
It probably will not be. I voted yes for that, but it looks like we may be going just to a retroactive to July, at least on personal income tax, but retroactive completely to January on the LLC.
How do you expect the school finance situation to be resolved?
By voting. I think that we will come up with a new formula similar to the old formula, but with some very definite changes. I think the Senate's going to have a somewhat different position than the House, and then we'll have to obviously get together in conference and work those details out.
Do you know how much more money the state has to provide to satisfy the state Supreme Court?
No, no one knows.
Does anybody know how much money the state Supreme Court says has to be allocated?
They don't say. They're not saying.
Well, isn't that a stupid way of doing it? I know that's not your fault. I understand that. But isn't that a silly way to run a government?
No. And I will say that what you have to look at is I think we need to be looking more at both inputs and outcomes, and thus figuring out what appropriate is and directing more money towards those specific things to get people up to par. And so you can't say how much money, because that's always changing. So what you need to say is, what is your goal and target, and then are you funding enough to meet those goals and targets?
So the legislature has to pass an increase for school finance, and then we'll find out if the state Supreme Court believes that's enough.
I'm not sure that it's going to be about enough, but it's at least a start.
What's
and we
it about?
know it's going to.
If it's not about enough money, what's it about?
Well, it's going to be about. There is going to need to be more money. I think we definitely know that. But exactly how much, I think they may be looking more for how do you determine what you should be spending, and want us to say we are putting some new things in place to make that possible.
Senator, we're down to just a few seconds. A quick final question. Is the legislature going to try to do the Medicaid expansion?
In my opinion, yes, and I certainly hope that more people are listening to the people of Kansas who want that to happen.
Is that not somewhat problematic when the funding comes from Obamacare and we don't know what the future of Obamacare is?
Well, it certainly isn't going away anytime soon if you pay attention to federal politics.
Something may happen with health care at the federal level.
Something may, but I can tell you what's up for, quote, grabs right now, most people I don't think will be in favor of again. And so, as Donald Trump said, Who knew this could be so difficult? It is difficult.
It'll be fun to watch all of it, and good luck to
Yes.
you as you return to the Topeka State Capitol for the next legislative session.
Thank you. It's nice to
All
be
right.
here.
That is Johnson County State Senator Barbara Bollier. Now let's meet the panel and start a ruckus.